Hello everybody, good morning, welcome back again. As you see by the title, we're going to be covering the KDMAX Pro 9.0 and its most recent foundation that it was built off of, which is the KDMAX Pro XT. So I'm going to do a bit of a walk and talk, but real quick, I have had the Pro XT, which was then updated to the 9.0 on my truck for a few months now, all in all, and quite a few hundred miles. It is great. I absolutely love it. I knew I was going to, so I had a little bit of a confirmation bias going into it because I had the KDMAX Pro on my previous Tacoma, and it's fantastic. Love it. So before I get into specifics and quantifiable items and stated items by the tuning group, let me just say the drivability on a daily basis, fantastically increased. Your throttle response is very nice and comfortable. Your shift points are great. Your MPGs are going to stay very similar if they do change at all. A lot of the power that's achieved is going to be achieved by way of adjusting valve timing as well as shift points, fuel delivery. So shift point changes obviously don't gain you more power, but it can keep you in the power band, which is great. So let's get into some of the specifics, and as I think of other things points I want to make, I'll kind of interject them and digress momentarily. So when you get a factory Toyota Tacoma, third generation, at 6,000 RPMs, you're set to make 278 horsepower. At 4,600 RPMs, you're making 265 foot-pounds of torque. So back to the foundation, the Pro XT, which is what we're going to discuss first, and then we'll get into the 9.0, which is that update. With the dyno tests, throwing out the highs and throwing out the lows, you're looking at a 29 horsepower boost up to 309 horsepower at peak range. 28 additional foot-pounds of torque at the peak range, putting you at 293 foot-pounds of torque. Then, even better, we're looking at a 46 foot-pounds of torque gain at 3250 RPMs. So that XT is certainly living up to its name. You're definitely getting that extra torque. With that, as you can see from the dyno numbers, you're getting better low-end torque. The tune itself, like all the other KDMAXs, has been octane learning. You're going to have smoother shifting, and all of these work very well and have been mapped and set up to perform in 4 low. You've got 3 different throttles to choose from, so you can go with the Sport, the Normal, and the Light. So the Sport is going to help those people who are running these big, meaty 33s and 35s, unlike myself. So with those gigantic tires, that throttle feels dead when you try to get moving. So if you have those big tires, you get the Sport, and you're going to feel great. I'm running 265 75s on 16s. I run the normal throttle. It feels good, much more responsive than factory, much more responsive. You'll feel it right away first time you drive your truck. It even coming from the factory throttle feels a bit touchy at first and takes some getting used to. So if you were to have the perception that it's too touchy, you can use that light throttle. Also, if you're going to stick with smaller tires for some reason, you can use that light throttle. And it's one of those different strokes for different folks things. The tune gets rid of gear hunting, makes your highway driving fantastic. Just because you got a little bit of wind, a little bit of an uphill, or you need to do an overtake, you don't always have to drop a gear to get that power. You can make power while you're still in the same gear and just cruise along the way you should have been able to from the factory. As I said, the power is made by adjusting valve timing, fuel delivery, and also throttle shift points have been updated. The throttle response, that electronic throttle, greatly changed. So the motor is primarily an Atkinson cycle motor, and it can change the valve timing to run auto cycle. So a lot of that power is made by just adjusting those valve timings. So you're running more auto, you're building more compression, and this tune gets a chance to do its thing. So you still have that injector cleaning cycle, and it still runs some port injection to help keep those valves clean. Around the same time I tuned, I did elect to put in a catch can for a multitude of reasons. I'm not going to get into the very interesting argument on is it actually needed at all, but it certainly cannot be argued that it doesn't hurt. So I'm running a catch can. I'll do a catch can video later. There's a possibility the tune might run a little bit less port injection, So that's the potential for a little bit less intake valve cleaning. And my answer to that was CAT scan. Same with my tuner. When you go seek out getting this tuned, talk to your tuner. They'll have all types of good information. Additionally, they'll probably let you take multiple rides with different throttles to see which one you like. So you don't have to worry about trying to make up your mind, send it, guess, and then live with it. These tuners are good folks. Fuel economy stays very, very similar. For me, I still have the same about 0.8 to 1 full gallon range that I get every tank is the same MPG I was having before the tune. Now on to the KDMAX Pro 9.0. I am going to be reading the bullet points that I have, and I will give my personal opinion alongside them. So this is cited obviously to be an improved version of the Pro Plus XT with a smoother throttle, and shifting is adjusted to keep you within the power bands, more often giving you better MPGs. So now you're rarely shifting earlier than 1800 or 2100 RPMs. You can obviously notice that right away. It feels good, it runs well, and it even furthers that ability to accelerate when you need to without having to drop a gear. So we like all that stuff. That's all good stuff. If you do have loud exhaust pipes, you might be sitting there noticing it as you drive around town, often holding higher RPMs. Just a thought. If you're running big old pipes though, you're probably gonna be fine with it because you're gonna be making more power and having better performance. Next note is that the torque maps have been optimized throughout with emphasis on the low end. So there's no notes on how they did it. Obviously they want to keep some of that info in-house so they don't have everybody else making other tunes, just copying their stuff, but it feels more torquey. I believe it, and they have no problem furnishing dyno data here and there. The cruise control shifting mode has been made better on the highway. So even from the factory, cruise control shifting can be garbage. It'll be dropping way, way down into a gear and giving you massive RPMs for way too long. So it holds gears nicely on the highway. That really runs through all the notes I've got here, and I'm gonna get into a couple videos of driving off, doing an acceleration video, and some closing thoughts. So a couple quick points in closing. To get tuned, you'll need a tuner, and the tuner I use is right here. He's based out of Northeast Florida. I'm in Southeast Georgia. I stand by this guy's work and his integrity. He's very personable, very professional. I've had him tune this truck and update this truck. He's also tuned my previous truck. So I trust him 100%, just like I'm sure you'll grow to trust your tuner. Additional things you can do, I've adjusted my blinker from non-ratcheted only being 3 clicks to 7 clicks. So you can change it up to 7 clicks, 5 clicks. You can get rid of the seatbelt chime. So if I were to go into drive and start cruising, which I'm not going to do because that would hit my garage, but just being in drive right now, I would have my seatbelt chime on. My seatbelt chime is not going off, and I love that. I drive with my seatbelt on, as should you, but it is a lot nicer to not have it on, making a bunch of ruckus. So again, in closing, if you're on the fence and you're really thinking about it, my suggestion is going to be just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and try it. It feels great. I've had warranty work done since having it applied. I have not had an issue. Obviously, your mileage may vary, but the drivability, daily ability of the truck is just so much better. And whenever you do get down on the throttle, it feels so much greater. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching.